I'm Anthony Morrow, and with me right now is Neil Prost, lead geo for NAC. Neil, great results. Tell us the significance of them.
Yeah, no, we're really encouraged as we have been throughout this whole season of drilling, really. Yeah, these latest holes are an extension of the systematic drilling we've been doing in the North Zone and in the southern infill in between our western fence of holes and our porphyry stock, which is where the bulk of the historical drilling was concentrated. Um, So yeah, I know it's been great to see the continuity of mineralization, particularly the steeply dipping mineralization that we see paralleling the porphyry stock offset from it to the west. So holes 27 and 30 were they show continuity of mineralization from both to the north of hole 12, which was our best one of our better holes from last season, and to the west of hole 12 and to depth. So yeah, just good, consistent copper grades and gold grades in there starting to pick up at depth as well, and some really particularly high grade zones within them, which kind of characterizes DAC. You get these really high grade spikes within a broader package of mineralization. So yeah, overall, really good to keep seeing.
Tell us the updates on the assays. We're still pending a bunch of the assays.
Yeah, we're still waiting for everything to be finalized from the lab. So yeah, will have 8 holes left to release after this. And yeah, and before we do our releases as well, we want to make sure that we have them understood and interpreted as well, so that we can communicate the story a little bit better. And yeah, that whole process is still ongoing.
So we hit these high grade zones in 27 and 30. Are we gonna find this jewel box, Neil? It seems like we're getting closer and closer to it.
Well, I was really encouraged, particularly towards the bottom of 27 and 30, which were in Babine porphyry stock rocks. The abundance of mineralization in there was higher than anything we've seen in the porphyry stock to date. Uh, the overall grade within the stock was 0.37 copper equivalent, which is really, really quite good. The bulk of the mineralization within the porphyry stock is typically hosted as sparse fracture coatings and narrow veinlets. And we're still seeing that same style of mineralization here in the north, but the abundance is much higher, right? The overall vein density is higher. The amount of mineralized fractures is a lot higher, and that's contributed to an increased grade. And also the gold grade is notably higher as well, which is good to see, right? We're seeing around that like zero point 0.1 to 0.2 grams per ton gold pretty commonly, which is it's pretty good accessory gold to a copper zone. So yeah, we're pretty encouraged by that, and visually we've seen consistent results to the north, and then we've got these other notably different mineralized intrusions as well further to the north still, which we're still waiting on assays for. So yeah, overall really encouraging, and I think it does have the potential to point to something much higher grade, right? Like we're seeing these semi-massive veins of bornite with chalcocite down deep, which is quite unusual uh, within BC porphyries at least. And yeah, again, very encouraging.
Well, Neil, I'm not a geo, but I know it doesn't rain copper and gold. Like we're seeing these higher and higher grades. It must be coming from somewhere. We're seeing all these hints of it. And the reason why we came on this property in the first place, because we want to find that jewel box underneath. And obviously we hit, 2201, which kind of made us focus more on stuff that was a little shallower. But I think we're gonna hit something deep down, don't you think?
Yeah, the story at NAC, the story at NAC is like broadly, there's a lot of copper over a very large. Uh, but I think the real story is contained within the the multiple phases of mineralized diking we see. And even in hole 29, which was overall lower grade, still consistent, we still intersected another instance of this copper dike, as Charlie's been calling it. Uh, this very densely bornite mineralized intermediate monzonitic composition. There's quite a bit of primary case bar in this particular phase. dike, which was consistent with what we hit at the top of hole 12 and at the top of 17, right? And there's a big distance between those. And we keep hitting narrow instances of this intrusive phase uh, over the entire property. And so this is really, really encouraging, right? This has to be coming from somewhere. You don't just get these isolated little pods of intrusive rock. They're tied to a source, right? And the fact that we're seeing similar mineral composition in these later stage veins within the porphyry stock makes me think this is all associated. And so a big part of the focus of the team right now is pulling out each instance of these, really trying to figure out an orientation, or if there's offsets from faulting or what have you. There's lots of complexities to this, but the story's being told repeatedly by these dikes. And so that's that to me is the potential here, right? There's this big mineralized footprint. I think it's all being driven by this later pulse of magmatism that boasts a lot of copper, and actually we're seeing quite a bit of gold in it too. So yeah, that I mean, stay tuned, right? Work is evolving, and as we get more information in and more geochemical information in, the process remains the same: is to try and interpret this and try and pull this together as best we can to guide future drilling.
So there's a potential for a red crest-esque high grade somewhere. And now that we have the $29 million from South 32, gives us $37 million in the bank and almost $50 million to spend when you get the BC credits. Like we can now drill super deep. And what do we have, 2, 3 years at least drilling with our budget?
Yeah, well, with our cost per meter so far on this, location is great. The camp is an excellent setup. So our all-in costs kind of scale to the size of the program, right? It's not like there's a big sunk cost in establishing a camp because we've got a camp there. Uh, and for helicopter work, we could do it very efficiently with one rig being bumped around to these further field sites, and then we can do road access for the rest. So I see a minimum of 3 drills, uh, and kind of keeping that to around 10 to 12 million a season. Yeah, right, with our 37 million in the bank, that's easily for 3 more seasons. And if we find what we think is down there and really want to go at it hard, we have the flexibility. So yeah, we're in a really, really fortunate position. As somebody planning the programs and looking at the budget down the road, it's really, really nice to have that cushion.
Well, if it's there, we're gonna find it. And I definitely think it's there. So
Absolutely.
we got a full budget. We got a great team. We got people that have made discoveries before. We got two great partners in South 32 and Tech, and we're just gonna drill, drill, drill. You need money for two reasons: to do a raise and do an exit. And now we have the money to get to the exit and get full valuation for our shareholders. So, Neil, we believe in you. We believe in this project. Believe my uncle who helped us find it, and thank you for helping us contextualize this. And good luck.
Yeah, no, likewise. No, it's again always a pleasure to be involved, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing what the rest of the assay results come back with, and what next season holds. Pretty exciting
Fly
times.
eagle, fly eagle, fly.
Yeah.